Hello, so I'm gonna do another tutorials based on different lighting, the HDR, or just select an image for the dome that everything's gonna be reflecting, in a different material. I'm gonna use a Bling, a very classic material from Maya software. This is the second, I think it was the first exercise that I asked you guys to do the neurons, and somebody did this interesting model of two neurons touching each other. So let's start doing this. As you know, we first of all we have to assign material. So if we go to Windows, rendering editors, and Hypershape, it's gonna take a while to open. And here, instead of going to the Monterey ones, we're just going to stick with the Maya ones for once. We're going to press the Bling, which is one of the classic materials on Maya, and we're going to click the object. And I'm going to right click and say assign materials to objects. And this, if we press, we'll see afterwards that it has many options to change as well. But let's go to the main step of this tutorial, which is going to be the dome that generates light and reflections. So if we go to render settings here, and we change this from using Maya software to Monterey, remember we have all these options we may change if you want. While we wait, now what we're going to do here is create a dome from the indirect lighting here. Instead of doing the physical sun and sky here, which gives us a dome itself with the coloring and the shape of typical sun position in the sky. It will give us a blues and horizon, and so we're going to create this option, the image-based lighting. So if we create this guy, and if we go to the outliner, which is the shortcut here, or as you remember in Windows, outliner. As we create, once we create this guy, this option is going to appear, Monterey IVL 1, and that's the one we can press here, or in the scene, the dome that appears, to change the properties in the attribute editors. As you see in the scene, what we have created is a dome that surrounds or kind of gathers the whole scene. And we're going to be able to do the main function. The main function of this dome is basically to inherit an image, and that image is going to pretty much affect how everything is rendered in here. So let's start with that. If we go, let's change the other options that we know already from other tutorials. From the common, we're going to go to the size, and we're going to go to HD 720. And in quality, we're going to go from draft to production. So it's pretty much the same, but instead of applying the physical sun and sky, we are applying image-based lighting here. And another option here that doesn't come with this environment, it's pretty much the final element doesn't check, so we check that as another option, which does come check if we create this one automatically. Okay, good. We close that. We're kind of ready with that, and let's make a render and see how it looks. Once again, remember that if we press this button, we're going to have the window that's going to render exactly in our final render. So another thing that we can do is pretty much position ourselves in an interesting point and save the view. I like this one. Actually, no, I'm going to go to perspective. As you remember, we can change the film aperture by clicking on perspective here and going to the channel box and pressing this guy middle button and change the aperture of the film, also the length of the focals. So yeah, I think that looks nice. I'm going to also rotate this one. Good. I'm going to save this view, and the way to do is to go to view, bookmarks, edit bookmarks, and say new bookmark and apply, close, or whatever we're doing. As you know, we can always go back to bookmarks and camera view, and it goes right there. So if we render this, we have applied material, but we haven't sent any image to the dome. This is going to happen. I'll pause it while it's rendering. Okay, so this is the result of that first rendering, and this is coming black. We haven't assigned any material, so the environment set in the camera, in the perspective, it's set to black. That's why we have black. Another thing we want to change, of course, is how the smooth mesh of this object, so it's smoother in its edges. So let's start by placing an image into the scene and also change the smoothness. If we select the object, Control A to go to the attribute editors, and if we go to the environment, smooth mesh here, we need to change from 2 to 3. This option, remember in 2008 mesh smooth, but be careful, you should save as before that. Okay, Control A again to come back. That's going to be smooth now. It's going to be nice. Another thing we want to do, as I said, is select the dome here, or here select Mentor VL1, and in Control A to go to attribute editors, and here in image-based lighting attributes, we want to select the folder and select an image. So I want to Google, and I Google neurons because I want a background that relates to this, and I went to this image and saved it as. I'm going to close this. I saved it, and then I went to. So now I can actually select after selecting the folder here, the one that we want, which is let me see, here, other, and it's called neural network. Open. As you can see, the image is immediately applied to the dome. And another thing is it's a sphere, so eventually the connection between one part and the other one of the sphere, it doesn't match. So we can always touch the dome and rotate by pressing E, and we can rotate the dome so we have a better area to render as a background. So I think that's kind of nice. So now in the material, once again, if we go to Windows, Render Editor, I appreciate there's some things I want to change from this type of render, this type of material with from the Bleen. Remember, if we don't have it here, doesn't mean we have lost it. It's actually here, Bleen 1. And what we're going to change is several things from this render. Is first of all, let's make this bigger. We're going to select color to make it slightly gray. We're going to give it a lot of transparency because I want to have like this feeling that is floating here on the air. Ambient color is going to be quite a bit. It's going to give like illumination to the material. And the incandescent is, as the word says, the more you put it, it's going to start behave as incandescent material. So we only want to put a little bit of that. As you see, this is changing as we change the options. So it's a nice way to check on how the material is making its evolution. Another thing we want to check here is the reflectivity to 1, so it started reflecting more of the background that we have. And another thing, in special offers, there's this thing, glow intensity, which if we play just a bit, it's gonna have a nice final rendering touch that glows the whole thing. And I'm gonna put a very low, I don't know, 0.08 or something, because it's very strong, so be careful with that. I'm gonna render this, and let's see what we have. Render and pause it, of course. Okay, so this is the result. I don't know about you guys, but I think this is perfect. What I would have changed is pretty much the resolution of the background, which is very, very low quality, and that's why it's so blurry. But the result of the glossiness giving this quality, the reflection of the background is giving all these very nice details here, and I don't know, I think it's very nice. Stop it there.